Welcome back, folks. I'm your host, the Mad Outdoorsman, and this is Apocalypse Radio. And on this show, we see the world for what it is. On this show, there's no safety nets, no propaganda, just reality. And the reality we're dealing with today, it's a war, plain and simple. A war for the future, a war for the next generation, a war for the minds of your children. Now here's the big news. Last week, President Trump signed an executive order to end radical indoctrination in K-12 schools. So, what's that mean? It means no more taxpayer-funded brainwashing, no more CRT, no more gender insanity, no more teaching your kids that America is evil while ignoring math, history, and basic literacy. And if a school dares to keep pushing this garbage, they lose their funding. Plain and simple. And in my opinion, it's about damn time. For decades, the education system has been compromised, a captured institution used by the enemy to weaken this country from the inside out. They weren't satisfied just infiltrating the media, the government, and the corporations. No, they went for the jugular. They went after our children. And they spent years filling their heads with anti-American propaganda, racial division, and gender confusion, while convincing them that self-sufficiency, family, and faith are relics of the past that should be erased. They've been turning our kids into obedient little wards of the state, kids who can't think for themselves, kids who can't function without the system, kids who are dependent mentally, physically, and financially on government control. But now, something's changed. A major piece of that machine just got kicked out from underneath them. And let me tell you, they're going to lose their minds over it. Because here's the thing. These people don't stop. You think they'll just pack up and say, oh well, I guess we lost. No chance. They're going to fight dirty. They'll call this fascism. They'll cry about rights. They'll rebrand their poison under different names. They'll whisper their ideology to kids behind closed doors, outside of their parents' reach. They will defy, delay, manipulate, because that's what the enemy does when they start to lose. So the question is, what do you do? What do we do? I'll tell you what we don't do. We don't get comfortable. You don't just assume this order will be followed. You don't think for 1 second that this war is over. You don't send your kids off to these schools and expect things to be magically different. Because they won't be. Not yet. You watch. You pay attention. You get involved. You question every assignment, every book, every lesson plan. You hold their feet to the fire. And if your school still refuses to get in line, pull your kids out. Simple as that. You find alternatives. You break away from the system that has been poisoning this country for far too long. And more than anything, you prepare, because this is just one battle in a much bigger war. The fight for your children's minds is just one front in the larger war for control. They lost ground last week with this executive order. But guys, the beast is wounded, not dead. And a wounded beast, it's at its most dangerous. So keep your eyes open. Stay sharp and never, ever let your guard down. Because the real fight, it hasn't even begun yet. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this content, I would appreciate it if you shared it out to somebody that you love. And if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Perhaps hit that thumbs up on the way out the door. That'll help the channel grow and reach a wider audience. With that said, guys, this is the Mad Outdoorsman signing off. Remember, stay sharp, stay strapped, and stay prepared. Until next time on Apocalypse Radio.